I believe this with every fiber of my being. I think in 20 years, we're going to look at social media and say, what the were we thinking giving this to 12-year-old kids?
So speaking of productivity and mental health, a lot of people are starting what people will call side gigs, right? We're circling back to side gigs and side hustles, a lot of people like to say. So I came across this article. It said 22 side gigs that can make you richer than your full-time job.
I saw that, yeah.
And I sent you the website as well. So as a person who's done a lot of jobs and has been into various different fields, okay, how many of these side gigs are viable? Now, let me preface before you answer. When I think of side gig, it's something that you do alongside the full-time job that you have, because if it becomes a full-time job, it's no longer a side gig, right? And so how many of these side gigs, did you go through all of them?
So I didn't look at all of them, and I'll explain why. I actually feel
please,
like
go for it.
I have a different outlook on side gigs than most people. And again, like I think part of this is due to my ADHD. I also think part of it is due to me having, 3 health clubs and 4 cell phone repair stores. And, it's what I learned, being a franchise owner with multiple units of each franchise, is that even if the franchise is the same, right? Like, I had 4 You Break I Fix stores. The franchise is You Break I Fix for all 4 of them, but each one still requires a lot of work, right? And a lot, like, you have a different payroll, you have a different bank account, you have different employees, you have a different physical location, you have a different lease. And so, what I was thinking the whole time that I owned those is, man, like I would do anything if I could just have one big cell phone repair store, which had the same amount of employees, the same amount of square footage, the same amount of payroll, but it was just all mashed into one. But that's not how those physical businesses work, right? And so, what I learned is that all these different businesses, they kind of take your attention in different areas. And so, here's the thing that I think about with myself, right? Is when I'm doing something, what is my return on time? Not my return on money, but what's my return on time? Let's pretend that, I could make, let's pretend that if I had no businesses, not even my current business, and I was reasonably certain that I could create $1 million business within 2 years. I'm not saying that I could, but let's just say that I was reasonably certain. I could calculate what my time is worth per hour, assuming that I would be successful in creating this $1 million business. Let's just say that it would be and again, I'm just making this up, right? This is more just an example. Let's just say my time we would calculate would be worth like $100 an hour. Well, if my side gig pays me $20 an hour, what's essentially happening is every time I do that side gig for $20 an hour, I'm losing $80 an hour, because I really could be putting that time toward this future business, which could be way more valuable. Now, I'm not saying that no one should do a side gig, because I absolutely think that there's certain times and instances when it's necessary, when you need to make ends meet, or you need to just earn more money and you can't do that at your day job. I do think as a temporary period of time, it can be beneficial. But really what you should be asking yourself is, how much time am I taking away from the thing that I'm really passionate about, or the thing that I really want to accomplish in this world? And how much more could that thing that I really want to accomplish be worth if I put as much effort as possible into it? That, I think, is what the calculation that people aren't doing. And I think that they're doing themselves a disservice by not thinking about that.
I 100% agree, because if you're doing something that you love to do, that you want to put 100% of your time and money into, then I think, like you said, you are pulling yourself away from something to go and make like some side money. So instead, take that same amount of time and money, put it back into the business to take, all right, if you're getting another 15 or 20 or 30 bucks here, how about put the necessary resources into what you're doing to make it earn you another $30. So instead of $100 an hour, so we'll continue with your example. Now you're earning $130 an hour. But
Mhm.
I saw this and I've thought about the same things, time and money. And out of these 22, I saw 5 that were viable as side gigs in addition to a regular job. And I categorized them into 2 things: low maintenance
Mhm.
and hit big. That's exactly what I wrote on my notes.
Nice,
So
nice. Yeah.
you have an online reseller. That's something that you can set up and it just works itself. You don't have to continue to go back, hopefully. Or it's low maintenance, not no maintenance. So you got to
Mhm.
go back a little bit. And then online instructor. So if you make a class for like one of those e-courses,
Yeah.
again, you make the class, you got to do a lot of work on the front end, because I've researched this as well, being a teacher. You upload it to, Amazon or wherever, and it makes the money, right?
Mhm.
You may want to go back and update some things if you have some new research, but you essentially don't have to do anything else once that happens. Okay, those are the 2 that I said, low maintenance. And
Yep.
then I have 3 more that belong in the hit big category, and then you can rebuttal to my list here. So senior accountant, I think that's what it says. That's what I have written down, where you can go, all right, this is how much I charge for my services. You can come, you can see me, I can help you out. And then it's essentially a one-time thing and you make your price. Same thing with a consultant and same thing with a curriculum writer,
Mhm.
right? You can go, this is my price. It's $1,000. Okay. You come see me, you pay $1,000. I do what you need me to do, and then I'm out. So
Mhm.
there's no extra overhead. There's no extra work that I have to do on the back end. It's essentially a one-time transaction where, as long as you're good, you can continue to raise your price.
Mhm.
And fashion consultant is one that I thought about putting down, but that's something where you have to kind of keep up with the trends. You have to continue to revamp your style and blah, blah, blah. That's maintenance. That's more maintenance. So I
Yeah. Yeah.
got senior accountant, consultant, and curriculum writer. Those are my hit big side gigs. And then I have online reseller and online instructor as my low maintenance, continue to get paid gigs. What say
Mhm.
you, Rob? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I really like that you broke this down, Tony, and you analyzed this. This is great. This sounds like something that I would do. I love it. So I actually, believe it or not, I think the first 2 that you said were the best, but I also think that they have the potential to hit it big. And here's why. The
Mhm, mhm.
scalability from the first 2, in my opinion, is much greater than the other ones, because so let's just say I have an online, an online business selling pens, like this pen, just as an example. Well, if I can, once I get it set up, and I want to be clear to people, right? Like, setting it up sounds easy, but there's more to it than that. It's not just,
Right,
it's
right.
not that easy. If it was like super easy, everyone would just do it and sell 1,000,000 pens and we'd all be rich. And that doesn't work like that. So I just want to be clear that the setting it up and the mechanics of it is challenging in and of itself. But
Mhm.
once you have it set up and once you have a reliable way to sell a lot of pens, if you sell 1 pen or you sell 100 pens or you sell 10,000 pens, the effort isn't that much greater. And so there's an ability to scale that business that is way, way greater than the amount of time that it takes for you to put into the business to scale it, right? So
Mhm.
it's the return on your time, again, is amazing. The same thing I believe is true with the teaching company, where if you, let's say you record an online course and you whatever it's about, let's just say it's about lawn care. I'm just making it up, right? And once you record the course, there's very little that you need to do. You can sell, whether you sell 10 of them or 1,000,000 of them, it's basically the same amount of work after that, other than the marketing, which again is a very substantial portion, but again, almost infinitely scalable. And but it does just take some upfront work, which is hard, right? And I just want people, one of the things that I just want to make clear to people is, there is no free lunch. There is in entrepreneurship, there is no get rich quick scheme. There is no, I just do this one thing for a year and then I'm a millionaire. It doesn't work like that, at least not over a long period of time. And I do think that there's a lot of things out there that people look at where they're just like, oh yeah, I'm going to try this thing and get rich quick. And, then I'll be set for life. And 99 times out of 100, it doesn't work like that. And I just, there is no substitute for hard work with entrepreneurship.
Man, I'm a teacher, so I'm off in the summers. This has been one of my most productive summers.
Nice.
And it's because I've been working on something that's my own. It's just been my podcast. I put a ton of work into it. I got merch coming, and we'll see if that turns into something huge. I told you about my set and my light sign and all this great stuff, but I've just done so much research and put in so much effort. But I wouldn't do that if I started some side care, lawn care, business with something I have no interest in. You talked about with your ADHD. If it's something that you have no interest in, it's just out the window. You don't care. It's not happening.
No,
man, I feel the same way. A lot of times with stuff like this, I'm thinking, okay, how much effort is it going to cost me? Do I want to do it? If those things don't make sense, I'm just not doing it. I don't really care. Like, I'm not gonna say I don't care how much money it will bring in. If it's high effort and it's something I don't want to do, I'm just not doing it. So that's just kind of where I've landed, because I see these 22 side gigs. I'm like, nope, not doing that. Nope, not doing that. Nope, not. There's so many things. I'm like, I'm not doing it. It's not worth my time, because like you said, there is no fast track. There is no highway to just, oh, you know what? Hey man, I'm rich. So when I see the clickbait, oh, easy ways to get rich, I'm like, you're lying. I'm not even going to watch your video.
Right. Yeah. Just, I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of people that like what I'm about to say, but I really think that that crypto taught a lot of people that, and to be clear, like, I invested in crypto for a short period in late 2017 and I got burned, right? I lost thousands of dollars. But I was actually really grateful that I lost that amount of money then, instead of like in the last 6 months, because I probably would have put way more money in the last 6 months if I had not lost money before. But to me, what I think crypto recently taught people is, yes, there are things that you can do and make a quick buck, but they are not long-term sustainable. And, I think that it probably took a lot of people getting burned by crypto to realize, yeah, things don't always go up forever. And there is no free lunch. And, I do know a lot of friends who made 5 figures or more on crypto, but they just got really lucky. And then they also lost some money recently. And they, I think that they're thinking about it differently. And it sounds really like bad to say, but I do think it takes people losing money sometimes more than one time in order for them to learn the lesson that, yeah, there isn't a way to get a quick buck, and it doesn't work that way forever. And that's just how it is. And I think that's a good lesson that people have to learn sometimes the hard way.
And I think the track to go to, if you're trying to figure out how to make more money, I tell my kids this in school. I tell everybody this that I talk to: find out what you're passionate about, figure out what kind of lane you can get in as far as that is concerned. So for me, obviously, speaking and teaching is my thing. Yeah. So I'm a teacher, right? I teach speech class. I have a podcast. And so these are all things that have lined up with who I am. I'm not looking outside of what I do, what I'm passionate about, what I like, and trying to go and do that, because I'm not going to be able to put my best effort and be my best in those areas.